Some betrayals don't come from strangers. They come from the people you love, the ones you trust the most, the ones who wear the same last name. What I saw that day was never meant for me. It was a moment stolen behind closed doors, a moment that shattered everything I believed about family, loyalty, and love. This is not just a story about infidelity. It's a story about betrayal that runs deeper than passion, a story that left scars across bloodlines. I walked in on something I wasn't meant to see, and my world was never the same again. Every Sunday was sacred. In our family, it wasn't just a tradition, it was the glue. We gathered at my parents' house for dinner without fail. Mom cooked her garlic roasted chicken, Dad picked up wine, and my brother Eli brought dessert. We laughed, argued about politics, reminisced about childhood, and pretended like everything was always fine. But it wasn't. Not really. I always sensed something off about our dynamic, like something beneath the surface had cracked a long time ago, and no one wanted to talk about it. My name is Natalie. I'm 30, the eldest child and the peacekeeper, always the one to smooth things over. But what happened that morning was the one thing I couldn't smooth. It shattered everything. That particular Sunday, I had decided to surprise Eli and his girlfriend Danielle. They'd moved into a new townhouse just outside of town, and I thought I'd drop by with a brunch basket, croissants, jams, coffee, and orange juice. Just something thoughtful, something normal. But what I saw inside that house burned normal to the ground. The morning air was crisp when I pulled into the driveway. The sun cast long shadows across the lawn, and everything seemed perfectly ordinary. I had a key. Eli had given it to me months ago. I let myself in quietly, not wanting to wake them too early. Maybe I'd leave the basket on the kitchen counter and head out. The house was quiet, no TV, no clinking dishes, no music. I stepped inside, closing the door behind me gently. Then I heard it. Soft sounds, rhythmic, breathy. It was unmistakable. My face flushed. I realized, awkwardly, that I was interrupting something private. I turned, ready to leave. But then I heard the voice, my mother's voice. I stopped breathing. I stepped forward before I could stop myself, drawn like a moth to the worst kind of flame. The door upstairs was cracked open, just enough, and I saw them, my mother, my brother, together, naked, entwined. I backed away, numb, shaking. My entire world collapsed in that single breath. I don't remember driving. I don't remember how I got home. I only remember the sound of my heartbeat pounding in my ears. I locked myself in my apartment and sobbed until my throat was raw. This wasn't just betrayal. It was evil, depraved, unforgivable. But I didn't know what to do, who to tell, how to begin explaining the thing I had seen with my own eyes. I stayed silent for 2 days. Then I confronted my mother. She didn't deny it. She said, "It wasn't supposed to happen, but you don't understand, Natalie. You've never lived with this much emptiness." I hung up on her. Eli never answered my calls. He went radio silent. I didn't see him again for 6 months. I started therapy 3 days later. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I was having nightmares. My therapist, a gentle woman named Dr. Morgan, said what I'd experienced was a kind of trauma most people never encounter. She said I had every right to feel broken. We talked about family roles, about how children become caretakers, about how secrets rot the foundation of any house, no matter how beautiful. She asked me one day, "What do you think love is now?" I didn't have an answer. The following weeks revealed more than I ever expected. My parents' marriage had been dead for years. My father had been sleeping with his secretary. My mother had fallen into a pit of depression. Eli had been emotionally isolated for most of his adult life. But none of that excused what I saw. Nothing ever would. A month later, I received a letter from Eli. He confessed everything. He said it started the year before. He said it had only happened 3 times. He said he hated himself, that he didn't know how to stop, that Mom initiated it, that he wanted to die. I read the letter 3 times, then I burned it. Danielle called me out of the blue. She was crying. "I know," she whispered. I found a photo. I confronted him. He told me everything. She moved out that night, took nothing but her clothes and a toothbrush. I never saw her again. 3 months later, I called a meeting. Just the 4 of us, me, Mom, Dad, Eli. We sat in the living room and no one said a word for 10 minutes. Then I broke the silence. "I know everything." My dad wept. My mother looked at the floor. Eli didn't speak. I stood. "You've ruined everything we ever were." Then I left. That year was the hardest of my life. I lost my family, my faith in people, and parts of myself I'll never get back. But I also found clarity, boundaries, a voice I had never used before. I realized that truth, no matter how horrifying, is always better than lies wrapped in tradition. I moved to another city, changed jobs, started new friendships. I didn't tell anyone the full story, not at first, but I did start writing, journaling, speaking to groups about betrayal and healing. Slowly, I rebuilt, not into who I was, into someone stronger, someone awake. I don't hate them anymore, but I also don't speak to them. I've learned that forgiveness is not permission, that you can let go of the weight without inviting the person back in. My family is gone, but my life isn't. It's been 3 years. I live by the ocean now. I write full-time. I volunteer at a center for abused women. And I speak to people about the darkest thing I've ever survived. Not for attention, but for light. Because no one talks about the betrayals that come from within, from blood. But I will. Because I saw it. I lived through it. And I made it out the other side. Some truths destroy the lives we thought were built on love. But sometimes, destruction is the first step toward healing. If this story stirred something inside you, if you've ever held a secret that wasn't yours to carry, Share it, speak it, heal from it. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember, silence protects no one. This was my truth. What's yours?